Yeah. Uh-oh. It's Monday. Y'all know what that means. It's time for some Unholy Tea right here, live and direct on CSHR Radio. This week, we decided to do it a bit different, and Max isn't here by himself this week. This week, it's a tag team special. So you got Max and the Unholy Tea, and we got Jackie and Herbalations right here on CSHR Radio Monday night. Let's go ahead and I guess pop this up to the little cameras, and then boom. Oh, you got yourself muted.
Yeah, that's what.
So don't while we wait on Jackie to be able to unmute her audio. Y'all know how this goes. For y'all listening on the radio, what's poppin'? Welcome back. For those of y'all listening on YouTube, Facebook, whatever platform this is going to, I really don't pay attention. I just hit live. Sharing is caring. I will say that one more time for the one more time. Sharing is caring. Share. I highly encourage you to hit the share button. Before you listen any further, hit the share button. What's up, Jackie?
Whoever thought it was a good idea to breed chihuahuas needs to have not.
What, you in the house full of chihuahuas right now?
One.
One, you said?
Yeah.
Oh, smacks.
Sorry, but if you guys have ever asked why I do this in my car, that is why.
Hey, life happens.
It does.
I kind of take the approach on Mondays that I've been kind of trying to like push be with like the other shows when I pop on, and I really kind of let the first few minutes just breathe organically, give the stream time to publish, time to get out there, time to hit the public, do whatever it do, and then let it go from there. So I guess while we're taking time to let this hit the air and do all that good jazz, I guess I'll go ahead and hit the share button.
I'm trying to figure out. It used to be a lot easier, and now it's not very easy to share. Oh, I guess. Hold on.
I don't know how yours ain't easy. Mine just
This is why I dual screen, because it's just so much easier this way.
Right. Oh yeah, because you on your phone, huh?
Yeah. That's going to be changing here eventually. I'm just lazy about getting to it, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, trust me, I know I'd be juggling.
Oh, well, when you think about it, like for my, like where I think about it is like how worth it is a computer. What all am I going to use it for?
I mean, computer be having multiple uses. There'd be a lot you can do with a computer, a lot that you can't do from like a phone, but like if you get on stuff from a computer, you can do that. It just depends. But it also just depends on what you're trying to do.
Oh, yeah. So, how's Yakashka doing today? We've touched on us, but we haven't asked how he's doing today. How's that Monday hitting him?
Oh no, let me consult with him real quick. Oh, he in planning mode right now. We got some things that we're working on, so he's really kind of just like in brewing up mode right now. He cooking.
What's he cooking? It ain't no baby, right? Or is it a baby?
No. We got a couple different things that we're cooking up right now. Definitely some projects that we're working on. Definitely got some music that we've been working on. Got a couple new webware merch designs that we're kind of taking our time on these ones because these designs actually have a meaning behind them. So Got a
Okay,
couple
I'm
different,
excited for that.
definitely got a couple different projects. No, Max is not. So James, let's make something real quick, clear, real quick. Max is not having no more kids. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. I had to say it 3 times like Beetlejuice. It ain't
He
happening.
really wants little yous running around by the sound of it.
No, the frick
I
I
don't
don't.
understand why, but it's kind of apparently his thing now.
No. Kids.
Okay, but but here's the thing, Max. It's not you having the baby; it's Yakaska. That's why I was asking. Like, is this a metaphorical baby?
I mean, kind of in a way, but this is when we're joint, but it's not a baby. We're taking the topic of babies out because babies cost a lot. Kids cost. Kids incur debt. We are trying to get debt free in life.
Right.
No more. Yeah.
Oh,
You know, James, you said just leave them in Hoey's mailbox like the rest of us do. I'm gonna be honest. I wish I had that option already. Oh.
let's be clear. I did not make use of that mailbox. All right. For campaign purposes, especially, I did not touch that mailbox for those purposes.
But other than that, I mean, we've really just been kind of doing some diving. Uh, we've got a lot that we've been working on, and we're just kind of trying to get things kind of organized to bring it forth.
I do gotta say that Friends to Foe track is one of my favorite tracks for driving right now.
So, man, that track is there's like such a crazy story with that track. I mean, like there was like a whole like unfriending behind like I mean that track coming out, and there was just a lot that went on in the back scenes with that track. So I'm glad that like as I've been like putting it out there, like people are like, hey, I like that. Like I like what you said in that. And it's kind of it's hard not to be like get like swollen headed about it. But like for me personally, it's one of them like, oh, if people like friends to foes, oh wait till they hear go and look up and hear no hesitation. To be like or like I've got a track with Goose that's really kind of like on back channel. So it's more on like Spotify reverb. And it's like, oh, wait till people go look that up and they find that. Like, oh, wait till they hear toxic behavior. Or like what we just finished, you'll be throw me in.
All right. Like, I'm not a huge house fan by any means, but there's some
So
tracks you've put out that I quite enjoy.
none of those are house tracks. All of those are kind of you'll be similar to friends to foes.
Okay,
Those are gonna
yeah,
be
because that was
now. I ain't gonna lie, house music. That one, it's I still got a lot of things I gotta work out, but I got a couple that I'm enjoying making. It'd be like the process of learning to make sounds and learning how to make a whole composition sound how it sounds when you in your head is like crazy. Dude.
see. It's one of the things that I've liked, and it's one of the things I've always pointed out to people because they always try to figure out my music tastes, and they can't figure it out. It's always been a battle. So, unfortunately, it's for me, a lot of it has to do with the words or strictly the sound. Sometimes I enjoy a song and I can't stand the lyrics that go with it, but it's just the way the vibe is. So, I will find a way to strip the words to listen to it. But if the lyrics are done out right, it's actually what is. I used to always tell people I don't like rap. Like, I even refuse to give it the time of the day. Like Eminem, I kind of listened to them, but other than that, like I couldn't stand rap for the life of me. And then there was a few artists that somebody had played in my car, and I just listened to the words, and they hit me in such a way that it instantly jumped on my playlist. Like It's interesting how if you actually let yourself out of your box a little bit, you can really get enlightened in certain ways. It's
Yes, it
entertaining.
is.
It's a fun social experiment.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. But I came in today kind of like I didn't know what I wanted to talk about, and then timing was bad, so you didn't run the urban relations last night. So I was like, all right, let's tag team it. And I still, even with that suggestion, I didn't really come into today with a topic. And it was really kind of just like what kind of gave me my direction was just like things I've seen coming into tonight. So I want to start out by giving y'all the parameters. If anybody that's like sharing their experiences is telling you this is the only way to do something, I want y'all to understand that that person is full of crap. I want y'all to understand something. Everything that you're going to see coming from any person is always filtered by the lens of their perception, myself included. It'd be like, I'm no exception to that. Some people work really hard to be able to recognize when their film of perception is really more so the one presenting that information, and some people don't. If you're really on a path of self-discovery, one of the lessons that I've personally learned that's gonna help you immensely is learning to recognize that for yourself. Learning to like, for lack of better terms, what I'm explaining to y'all, like what I'm telling y'all is what I'm going to explain what I mean when I say ciphering. Information, all forms, goes through various perceptions. Depending on how many people it went through to get to the person that you're listening to it from, there might be a lot of perceptions added. Sometimes you got to kind of take things in and kind of really sit back and you'll be like, where it's going. What's up, Ali? Ali Baba. What's up with you?
Well, we've made it this long. Great show, guys. Just
Like I had to
Actually,
throw that
Hoey, sit, listen. We're gonna rewind a little bit here for you.
I had to throw that out there like as a disclaimer from now moving forward. Cause like starting here, man, this is like a start point. This is a start point. We gotta really kind of get in alignment with what I'm communicating and what is being perceived from it. That way you really grasp the things I say to y'all. Because
Well, and
sometimes, go ahead.
that's a practice that I would like to see people not just take into that, but take into like their everyday lives. Because I'm gonna tell you this right now. One of my biggest things that I've yelled and stated multiple times is you have to be willing to take that knowledge from more than one spot. Because if you continuously take it from one place, then you're not actually broadening anything at all. Period. Those experiences are going to change even how you wound up taking that advice and how you wound up playing it at work. If I continuously learn from one person, I'm never going to get good at everything. I need to be able to take that from multiple different people because each person excels in a different area.
Well, it's really moving forward. It is a required base. It is that is going to be a required base. I mean, like that is going to be one of the protocols of communication from henceforth. It's got to be. It's
I can get behind that.
if we like. I'm just saying, like with these streams, whether it's Unholy Tea, whether it's an Herbalation stream, y'all catch me on, whether I'm on a personal one, whatever, it's got to be the base. Because if it's not the base, when I really start opening up, y'all gonna look at me like, what is this dude talking about? y'all gonna be like, whoa, what is going on here? So I just had to throw that out there. All the way around the board, disclaimer.
No, on these shows, I definitely think a lot of people need to get behind that, and myself included. So, absolutely.
Oh,
But I think one of the big things a lot of people do need to brace for is when you do start doing a lot of self in like indulging in yourself and trying to figure out more your little journey, whatever you want to call it. People call it so many different names. Like people have their little spirit quests or whatever. It's never going to be an easy task, and you're going to go through a multitude of different changes along the way. And you got to be ready and willing to accept advice from different facets.
not only that, it really requires you forgetting everything you think you know and relearning everything. And it's not going to happen just one time. You're not going to just relearn everything one time. You're going to continuously relearn it. As for lack of better term right now, I'm going to use the word awareness. Awareness is not the term I want to use. I just don't have the proper term yet. But as more and more awareness makes its way to that forefront, everything changes all over again. Every level of perception now takes on new dimensions that you had previously not even been able to fathom.
Well, that was one of the first things Max ever said. I've definitely missed a couple, so I got some catching up to do. Life's just been very interesting lately. Hard to keep up with at times, I tell you.
So, Hoey, you said you got to break the ego first. Yes and no. All right. I gotta think of a way to put this so it like really, hits home, so it really like sinks in. What's termed the ego, we're gonna reterm that right now. We're gonna call the ego observer mode. Matter of fact, we're gonna just call the ego the driver. The driver. The driver is the one that's in control of the vehicle. All right. That driver exists beyond the confines of physical space and time, along with other drivers. It's learning to recognize which driver is in control and learning to sit on top of that driver. I see you, James, you put a comment up that said spectator mode. No. Using the term spectator mode in this context detonates that you're not the one exercising the control. So yeah, no, not spectator mode. But there definitely is a kind of in the way of, like you said, breaking the ego. It'd be like realizing that there's more than just what you can fathom. Like if you think about it, our mind processes information, our brain processes information. It'd be like, so of course it can't really process the information that it doesn't have. Can the computer perform processes off of code it don't have? I'm crying. How did I encourage somebody to sit on Holy is my question.
I'm gonna swap localities.
All right. self-accountability is a trait of it. It is a trait of what I'm speaking about. You know what I mean? Because it goes beyond self-accountability. I'm talking about like a frame of being where there's more than just self-accountability. You know what I mean? That's moving where you're at. There's also kind of that surrender to something beyond yourself, something beyond what you can immediately see as tangible. But either way, like I said, starting out, I really kind of didn't have an idea of where I wanted to go for a topic for today. And coming into today, there's a base of understanding that we really got to get to. So, like, you get to a point where you really ask yourself a set of questions. Who am I? An exercise that somebody gave me a long time ago is when I ask myself this. Every answer I give myself, smack it with a counter. And watch where I go with that. And I've done that like multiple times. And it's actually amazing because like for everything you'll say I am, you end up answering back to yourself, no, you're not. That's just a label of this. So you're kind of like, what the crap? I went through this whole phase with it. I tried thinking up and down the gauntlet, like how I'm gonna get a different answer, or how I'm gonna get something that answers differently from how they told me this was going to answer. And it wasn't nothing I could answer except just to say I am. I've always been kind of a nerdy person. So like things like science interest me. I read for fun. So like I'm not that type of person that like, okay, on social media. Go ahead. What'd you say?
I said I read for fun too.
Like, I don't just get
Couldn't use that as a punishment.
oh yeah, no, my mom was cold. She used to take the books away. And she knew
Same.
it.
My dad knew that. He was just like, you're grounded from your books. And I'm
I'll give y'all a great example, right? So like if you watch videos and they talk about like if you're watching videos and it's talking anything about like Einstein's general relativity, right? Like they'll make basic statements, you know, but like they gloss over it and they'll say things like, oh, yeah, it basically nullified all the other ideals that physicists had at the time, XYZ, right? So I'm gonna give y'all like kind of like some a look at some of that real quick. So before Einstein dropped this whole theory of relativity, before he gave him this, scientists used to think of something called, there was something in existence called the ether. It'd be like the ether. Man, there's a million and one names for it. Einstein drops theory of relativity. The scientific community says, oh, yeah, looking for the ether is pointless. I mean, because we now this. Now let's jump forward some years later. Because in a crazy way, the scientific community dubs back on what they said when Einstein drops the theory of relativity, but do it in a way that nobody catches on to. If you actually end up watching this and listening, you about to be like, wait a minute, what the hell are you talking about? Let me go get a cigarette and I'm going to explain.
asshole. It's funny, I watched a video about that one. It's a very interesting video explaining the different perspectives.
So, bam, let's go. How did the scientific community contradict itself and didn't nobody know this? I need to know this. How did nobody know this? I need to know this. So peep this out, right? Look at quantum physics, wave particle duality, all that good jazz, right? Watch this. So in proving wave duality, you also prove that there's some type of a medium that exists. You like, what is wave duality? I get it. I'm talking geek talk to you. So hold on. Let me get this to you. It was these scientists. They did an experiment. They put a big, let's say they put a big movie projector screen on a wall. Yes, it does. Hold on. Hold on. So, hold on. Yes, it does. Watch this one. Here we go. We put this movie screen on the back wall. We got a laser here shooting electron balls at the screen. We put a wall in front of it. And let's just say we put 2 slits. So obviously, you're going to see on the projector screen 2 slits of photon beams because the
Actually
wall.
do this though? Like, isn't there actually like they did this on a video once for science, for actual
This
science?
experiment has been done more than once.
Exactly, yeah, it's actually been
So,
done. It's not just a think about it this way.
all
It's
right.
been done.
So now in this process, something crazy happens. For some reason, for some circumstance, this experiment is still going when there's nobody observing it. Uh-oh. Now we're about to get tricky. Now we're about to get tricky. This experiment happens when nobody is there observing it. And they find the strangest thing. They find electron hits all over where this wall should be blocking it. Uh-oh. This crazy circumstance leads to these people discovering wave particle duality. So let me bust this down for you real quick. In a nutshell, it's basically saying that an atom or an electron could be whatever term they want to use. Either way, on that level, something comes into matter because somebody is there to observe it, which means that like it's set. There's a structure for this. There's something put together. There's a canvas being played with. If it's just there, not being used, it's everything at once. In order to be everything at once, that means you got to be fluid. You got to be mobile and you got to be loose. Okay, so hold on. I see a comment.
Yeah,
No, it doesn't.
that's that all for you.
Ian says, I have a fairly good grasp of quantum mechanics. Wave particle duality. Particles are both a wave and a particle. The particle is a special case of the wave function in a reinforced phase with the observer, i.e., things aren't things, they are tendencies. Okay. So here's my 2 cents on it. Yeah, I mean, I'm not knocking you, bud. I'm just telling you, I'm just speaking from like how I've been able to grasp it. That right there, to me, just it don't math up. It don't give a practical explanation. It don't give a base explanation. To me, that sounds like how doctors spent my whole life talking to me. That's just using a bunch of big words to put concepts out there without like, boom, concrete. Hey, this is what's up, what I'm saying. This is what this is. Right? So now, also, it's also to me a bit contradictory. Yeah, because you're going to say something is wave and particle, but it's only wave in a special case. Like, oh, okay. Being that there are like so many people that are like all of a sudden parents because they were told statistically they can't have kids and they have kids, I don't trust
Hi,
special cases. Just saying.
I'm one of those people. Yeah, I guess he did use the equal sign with the slash through it.
Oh, okay. So I did not notice the equal sign with the slash. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I thought that was my computer messing up. I'm gonna keep the book. I don't even know what that means. Okay, okay. So
I love science and all, but this is like
okay, and
a
so
lot.
I'm gonna give on this one. I'm simply going to explain a thought process I had as I was looking in and reading up and teaching myself quantum physics. I'm going to explain the thought process that led me to where I'm at. Because right away, like it kind of all clicked with me. Like it was like simultaneous, like, oh, time doesn't exist. Okay, hold on. Okay. This might not even make sense to you. What's up, Harsh? But think of it
Gosh,
like this. Wave particle, right? So a traumatic event in that exact instant is a particle because it happened right now. It's a right now thing. So it's a particle. The repercussions that you spend dealing with it and all of the after effects is a wave. See what I'm saying? See, wave, see, this is what I was saying when I say communication. You'll be like, when I say wave and particle, that's just the wording from the scientific text. What's a wave? What's a particle? What's a wave? What's a particle?
I do gotta say, it's one of the few things I'm getting real tired of having to talk to people about. And it's everybody lately. Like, damn.
I mean,
Like, did we all lose the ability to communicate with each other at some point?
a, a
Like, can humans
wave,
just not do that no more?
bingo, a pebble breaking the water, something that, watch this, a particle, an impact, a wave, the waves reflecting from the impact. Just saying. Yes, it is. And for another thought process on this, everything boils down to an energetic level. Your emotions are an energy. That's how I really kind of, for me, that realization was a part of like going through some of the shadow working. You know what I mean, like having that like thought process, you were doing like the shadow work, like, oh, hold on. It made the concept of shadow work take on a different meaning for me. The way we're taught, the way we're taught language, we are taught to look at words as one specific thing. There are a lot of different mystery schools, religious paths. There's a lot of different ideations in the world, for better lack of a term, where they teach that a word has levels of meaning depending on how much information you've been given to cipher. Told you we got to get there. Just because we say a wave and a particle, we might not be talking about just how this scientific chart tells us what a wave and a particle is, because they only explain it from, oh, I'm just going to tell you what a wave and a particle is. We're not going to give you examples of waves and particles or how we use this term. I really think about it. I mean, like, you go through something traumatic, right there, that's the impact. That's the particle. All of them repercussions that you got to walk through and wade through for whatever amount of time afterwards, for some people, perpetually, that is the wave from that impact. A new artist makes a splash and drops a hit song. That's the particle. That's the particle right there. That's the comet hitting Earth. The wave that comes after it. See what I'm saying? You got a cipher. I got a great example for this, and I'm going to type it out real quick and then smack it up, and I'm going to put it on the screen. All right, here we go. Does 2 plus 2 equal 4? If you just hear me say it, you probably just took that as if I asked you if 2 apples plus 2 apples equals 4. Let me write that out. I said does. I wrote the word 2 with one O plus the word 2 with one with 2 O's equal 4, as in fortnight. Does 2 plus 2 equal 4? Did I say what I mean, or did I mean what I said?
I'm going with Hoey's answer.
Equals 2. I'm crying. I'm crying, Hoey. But no, seriously, I'd be like, and that's something I definitely want to start. I'll be like, I want to take a moment and say, like, we're all going to look at various levels of information from our perspective. It'll be from the way we're able to cipher it. I'm not here. It's not my place to be like, oh, your information's right or my information's wrong. All I can simply do is hear how somebody else ciphers it. And if I cipher it a bit differently, offer mine up. I still folks with you though, high end. Don't agree with you, but hey, we can agree to disagree there.
Luckily, we're not Scientologists. Saying this would be a very interesting topic at that point.
Okay. So I see a huge comment, and I've seen one thing that caught my eye. So I'm just going to read the whole comment, and then I don't know. I guess we'll start with what caught my eye. What are you talking about? Is why the planetary model. What you are talking about is why the planetary model of an atom can be misleading. It's an oversimplification, meaning an electron doesn't orbit a nucleus like a planet orbits the sun. An electron literally disappears and reappears into existence based on how its wave function interferes and re-interferes itself, i.e. the electron probability cloud. Okay.
Chaos.
I'm going to be totally honest. Off of that comment, a part of it clicks. The rest of it, I honestly have ciphered out because it was like, it's, again, in case of a lot of words, you'll be not really given an explanation. So I'm going to go ahead and just leap out here right now, and I'm going to tell you that from my perception, the planetary model of an atom is totally incorrect. Now, you said something that in a way I can agree with. An electron literally disappears and reappears into existence based on how its waves function. I'm not going to say I disagree with what you said right there. What I'm going to say is that wording kind of sounds similar, to my thought process on that. Just told y'all, you'll be like the scientific community got it wrong with Einstein, right? So that ether, you'll be where all exist at once. You're absolutely right. Like, think about it like this. You ever been like super drunk and let's throw a limb out there, got behind the wheel of the car, like, all right, I'm gonna take myself home. And you know how like your vision be like swimmy and like you'll try and focus on one thing and you'll focus out and pop in onto something else? Take that same experience and throw it in, like to the concept of an atom where it's not 99.1,000,000,000% empty space. In fact, the atom is full of all possibilities. It's where the energy is focused that determines which possibility comes forth. That thought, another thought process.
I've been that stoned before.
Now, what's even crazier is as I'm really like kind of digesting, that part of it, like we're double talking here. The electron probability cloud, that's like saying the space where all exist at once. Come on, guys. Why we got to make this so complicated just to like sound dignified and scientific? Like in one hand, we'll say that everything exists at once, but in the other, it's like we're like, hey, it can't. I'm confused.
I mean, that would have to come down to the understanding of that where Max is coming from is not the scientific standpoint. You're trying to come at it from a very different point, whereas a hobo he's hung up on the scientific side of it, which is fine because the scientific side makes sense, whereas the
So,
side that you're trying to delve into is where it's
to a point,
gray area, and gray area scares people. People don't like the gray.
So, Aleister Crowley defined magic, MIGCK, in the following words: the science and art of causing change to occur in conformity to will. Now, when he used them words, science was his way of terming understanding the forces behind reality creation, the forces behind existence. Art was molding and recreating them forces. So in a word, in a way to sum it up, being a master of the wave, of causing change to occur in conformity to will. Change is action. It's something happening. What is your will? Don't you like the things that like really fall under the category of will? Aren't those things that like go on up here?
Well, willpower is a very important aspect to pay a lot of attention to, because
if you really
that's what makes or breaks 90% of everything.
If you really bust this down to, be like really get to analyzing this, willpower is up here. It's mental. It's really
the one thing you have the most control over too.
Be like your body's screaming at you, you tired, and you still keep it pushing. That's willpower. That's up in here. So
you gotta build up that constitution.
The reason I take the approach I take is because what can science Science can give me a good way to grasp this, but can't nobody make better sense of this up here to me than me. Oh yeah, listen, and it's all love because for me, Hobo, I take conversations like these and I learn from them. You'll be like, there's a million different perceptions. There's a million different ways of saying things. You'll be like, that's why I even said like, hey, to me, this is how this sounds. That way you get how like that comes like how I see what you're saying. And here's where I'm different from what you're saying. Here's how I see this differently. Shit, for all I know, we both wrong. Again, all we can do is relay our perception and how it works for us. So, Hoey, you said one's will can be programmed subliminally, though. That's an interesting comment. And it's something we'll get down to in the line. We're going to talk about some subliminal programming. Oh, we're going to
That's
talk about it.
you can control whether you allow that to happen as well.
It takes a minute to
Like
recognize it.
you can stop that from happening, Hoey. You just got to be smarter than the ones that are doing it to you. 'Cause they ain't that smart.
In a way, this world is subliminally programmed.
That's why I have an issue with 90% of humanity these days because they allow themselves to be subliminally programmed by everything around them.
Let's keep it 100. I mean, like, and this one of them things that like people don't like to talk about. Let's look at how this world works. Let's really look at how the dynamics of the world works, and let's like ask ourselves, like, hey, we ain't catching on that we like taking the low grade of the Ponzi scheme. Like, think about it, right? You have to spend at least 40 hours a week at the minimum. Some people have to work more than 40. So you spend 40 hours a week working a job that pays you pennies to what your labor is producing. Then you're taxed for that. Then when you get your stipend, everything has to pay bills. Everything pays bills. And then you wake up the next day and do it all over again. Ooh, but that's a conversation the world ain't ready for.
You know what's funny? My daughter said that to me once. My 9-year-old has already come to me and said, every day feels exactly the same.
Now, the reason I said that is because for a long time I felt like that. If you end up watching this, oh yeah, make sure you following us along because over time I'm gonna be sharing with y'all how I moved past that. Because it's possible you'll be working your tail off, can feel like a trap. Because all you're doing is the same thing every day, hoping on a better tomorrow. Kind of like the same way these churches sell you a wish and a dream. You go to church and put your offering and tithes in the plate, praying for a better tomorrow, while pastor hopping the food country on high-priced flights, eating and wining and dining at great places, wearing tailored suits. You hoping and praying for a better tomorrow. Ooh-wee. So, high end. Yes and no. Yes and no. You'll be like, you know how they say it's levels of things, right, buddy? It's levels to like what you're here to experience or to accomplish too. It's level set, right? On some levels, it's not going to be so much as that ego. You're going to have life lessons. You're going to have to learn things like sometimes everybody can't go with you. If you have one of them type of lessons in your life, that may be one heck of a lesson you're going to experience, learning that everybody can't always go with you. Just
Yeah,
saying.
that is definitely one of the harder ones. But once you come to understand it, it's one of the best feelings in the world, though.
I mean, yes and no, because it's
I've gotten
that lesson typically probably just because of like you're being honestly speaking from experiencing this lesson, you'll be like the sub lessons that come with that lesson, you'll be like, oh yeah, it was meant to like learn how to like stand out and be your own person. You would like you gonna go through them cycles of learning how not to need anybody's approval.
Yeah, that it's perfectly okay to understand
So,
that your journeys do eventually also have to split up too.
so now, disclaimer. I'm gonna jump on your
That's a
comment.
huge thing.
Hold on, real quick. Disclaimer, because I'm gonna jump on your comment, Hoey, but I also want to make something clear. I don't want to get lost in the whole rich and poor, and you'll be like, that was really just kind of to show a thought process that I've been down on this road. Because for real, like I said, life don't have to be like that. It just feels like that because we're not taught to do better. Like dead honest, part of like my experience this weekend is I'm driving through a town with my homie and I'm asking him, like, bro, where in the suburbia do you got me at? Like, I'm just seeing the houses I'm riding past, like, where in the suburbia are we right now? Hoey, you said that goes back all the way though. Not your taxes per se, upper class, lower class, and the poor have always existed. Kingdoms were built with slaves where they just lost a fight. Tribals did the same thing. The rat race is humanity in a bottle. You are very much correct. And that is something in due time I really kind of want to jump into a conversation about because that specific comment right there is a great comment. You'll be like, to take and start a conversation about what's called service to self and the path of service to others. Oh, that's a great starting point right there. Because there's two different like pathways in life. There's a path that's really rooted in existence as described as being service to self, and another as service to others. But like when I have that conversation, I'm not going to give y'all the watered down whitewashing version that everybody keep giving people. That is crap. Because also in that conversation, we totally got to understand something. As crazy as this is going to sound, humans are the prize. Humans are the prize. That sounds crazy, right? Like when you really dive into these topics and you get to talking about all this metaphysical stuff and all this crazy out there stuff. Ultimately, there's something to be that like it's wild when you realize it. Humans are the prize. That's crazy.
I cannot agree on that.
See, here we go. You're gonna be like, why?
No freaking
So why?
prize.
Yes, it is. See, there's forms of existence that don't get to experience a corporal body. They don't get to experience this place. We don't even realize that we're in a state of existence. It's watered down, it's corrupted, but we're in a state of existence that there are forms of beings can't experience. Now, that right there, that level of like wildness, it really
But
like takes a whole lot of topics and switches them up.
but wouldn't we be like one of the more unintelligent races, like species on this
Mm-mm,
planet, considering the fact that we pay to
mm-mm.
live here?
No, no, no. Oh no. All right. So this is crazy. You got it. This is some deep reading here. Science tells us that what is it? 98% of our DNA is junk DNA, right? It serves no purpose. It is not that it serves no purpose. That kind of crazy when you really think about it, but the model that they give us of DNA really look like a wave. You can really take that DNA model and be like, that's a sound wave. It's energy. Something about this human body, it got watered down over time. Changes have been made to the genetics, the energetic makeup that have severed the human avatar's connection to certain bands of energetics. This is the shadowy realm. So watch this. And this is crazy because like this is something that's really recently been smacking me around because it's really been connecting a couple different lessons that have came along the way. When you take pure white light and you shine it through a prism, it refracts out into a rainbow. That's something to really keep in the context right there, because that rainbow is that visible spectrum. That's the spectrum we can perceive, that visible spectrum. There's a whole bunch above and beyond that visible spectrum that we can't perceive. Like, so when we say the land of shadow, really think about this. That visible wave spectrum is the land of shadow. Now, that's a whole different topic. We're going to come to another time because, like I said, you know, how I say when you shine it through a prism or a medium, it reflects out a rainbow. There's also an angle to that rainbow. There's an angle to that rainbow. Now, what's crazy is, let me double check that math real quick. $42 to $50. That's just around about double another rather interesting number. I'm gonna give y'all a really interesting number that's kind of popped through. 23.8. 23.
Numbers.
So 23.8 is what the scientific community says the axis of the Earth's tilt is. Like I said, this axis of a rainbow is about double that. This axis of a rainbow is about double that. I don't know. Maybe I'm into some geek stuff that might be a little bit too advanced for some people.
But what do you mean by that? What are you trying to point out with it?
All right. So we're going to say that this is Earth's axis. We're going to give it, I have no clue what angle this is, but we're going to call this 23.3 degrees. We're going to say that the actual angle is, Now, perception is crazy, right? So a rainbow will reflect like, it'll be, that's like crazy off. Like boom. This rainbow would reflect like here. Right? So if you move this down to here, this comes down in here. I can't tell you exactly why that thought process is just stuck there, but for some reason, this whole time, that thought process has been there. It's kind of like, it's weird. I can't tell you exactly where I'm like saying it's down, but what if, just what if, that whole wave particle duality, apply that to that you that's conscious and aware. Apply that to like think about like things like the periodic table of elements. Different elements have different densities. So like they float, it'll be different ways. Like if you took certain things and put them in a glass together, they would separate in different levels, right? Yeah. Yeah. Don't know where it's a bookmark of, but something told me to give that one away. Well, we've hit about we've actually surpassed the hour mark.
I was about to say
Hey,
that.
a live stream where we wasn't even looking at the timer. Oh, snacks.
I gotta
Alrighty.
go.
Same here. Well, y'all, it's been great. If I can get my mouse to work, I can end the radio. Boom.